Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins, Mekaneck, and Ground Ripper. Yeah, in the original line, this vehicle was called the Road Ripper, but I think there's some trademark issues, so now they're calling it the Ground Ripper. But it's another vintage vehicle brought to life in the Origins line, and we've got Mekaneck, who is a long-demanded figure in the line. Interestingly, not packaged on his own blister card, but as of right now, only comes in this particular box set. It is a great box set. It does pay homage to a vintage pack out. There were a lot of gift sets and stuff like that that had vehicles with figures. And I just absolutely love this deluxe window box packaging that they continue to do with Origins. First of all, we've got beautiful artwork across the top up here, featuring Mekaneck riding on the Ground Ripper. You can see Castle Grayskull off in the distance. There's always so much to look at on these boxes, which I absolutely love. Of course, the window box there fully showcases the figure, accessories. We got an extra little piece for the Ground Ripper that I'm excited to look at. So really, really fun stuff with the box here. As we rotate it around to the backside, you can see Mekaneck doing his spying on the Snake Men over here, heading towards Eternia Towers. But I love this. The Snake Men are also spying on Mekaneck. Hey, it's Pixel. Yeah, it's the little buddy for Cobra Khan. He's totally spying on Mekaneck. I think that's fantastic. What a great homage to the 2000X era right there with this little character. Really fun stuff. Down below that, we've got our cross-sell showing other figures currently released in the Rise of the Snake Men series. And we've also got our action feature callouts here. Real racing action. I can't wait. Let's go ahead and get this opened up so we can get a closer look at the figure and the new vehicle. All right, we've got this box opened up. Let's start by taking a look at Mekaneck here. Bringing in the tape measure, you can see that the figure is shy of 6 inches tall to fit in with the rest of the figures in your Origins line in that vintage 5.5 style here. And honestly, he's pretty much exactly what you've come to expect as far as his overall look goes. Just like the vintage figure, he shares that basic body, but he's got like blue painted bodysuit there that covers the wrist bracers. He's got those silver painted boots there, the green belt. It's really cool looking. It's bright and vibrant and clean. He does have that weird armor that Mekaneck is known for there, which is done a little bit differently on this one. While it fastens the same way as the vintage, where it still comes under and fastens under the arms there, it is now made of a softer, pliable plastic, instead of that harder, like, clamshell that the vintage armor pieces were all made of. This has been pretty typical for the Origins line, and sometimes I like that fine, and other times I do miss the harder armor. This is a place where I miss the harder armor. I don't know, this just looks soft to me, and one of the things I really don't like is if you look up here, at the little holes, the triangle holes that are cut out in the front, there's a lot of flashing in there, meaning it doesn't look like a clean cut. You can see little pieces of plastic hanging off in there, and that is really unfortunate. Now, most people probably wouldn't even notice that, and you really don't see it from like a distance, but when you're looking at it, it's like all I can see. So that is a bit unfortunate. It does look good otherwise. I mean, I love the angles on it. The silver paint on there looks really good. And then the head there is great. He's got that goofy helmet that Mekaneck is known for. Also, they did vac metalize the eyes, just like on the vintage figure, so they got that great mirrored look to them. If it didn't have that, I would have been disappointed, so I'm so glad to see that he has that. Now, he is a standard Origins body, so all the articulation is exactly what you would expect here, and he does utilize all of the interchangeable parts that the Origins line is known for, and that might give you the alert right up front that this guy is missing an action feature. Now, it's been interesting in Origins to see which figures get action features and which don't, and I'm not exactly sure how they choose it. It's probably a cost thing or how complicated it is. If you guys remember, the vintage Mekaneck had a feature where when you twisted his body, his neck would extend. The way they accomplished that on this figure is much like they did for the Masters of the Universe Classics line. So if you collected that line, you know what to expect. The neck peg even looks almost identical. It's got the blue collar at the bottom there. So since this line has interchangeable parts, it was much easier for them to do this. You can just pop the Mekaneck head off, you could pop the extended neck on, and then it's got the same ball joint at the top so that you can just add Mekaneck's head back to it, and voila, we've got an extended neck. Now, I've seen a lot of people disappointed that this guy doesn't have the telescoping feature, and I'm gonna say that you're not wrong. I understand that, but here's my hot take. I'm glad he doesn't have that. While I've always been a big proponent of action features sort of make the Masters of the Universe figure in a lot of cases, with the vintage Mekaneck, I hated the fact that the only way you can extend his neck was to turn his body all the way to the side like this. Because I could never have him with his neck extended without his body in an awkward twist. With this, at least I can keep his body straight and I can pose him like this. So I'm going to be the guy that says, I'm glad they did it this way. If you disagree with me, that is totally fine. But for me, I totally approve of this. Now, one thing I will say, I wish that they found a way to do this without putting this blue collar at the bottom of it. I wish it was kind of just more straight so that if you had the option to do so, you could get multiples of these and stack them. And that way we can have a really, really long neck, a la what Marvel Legends did with Stiltman. That would have been really cool. And this is something that was a debate in classics as well. It would have been awesome to be able to have a really ridiculously long neck for Mekaneck. But as it is, if you just do it out of the box without any customization work, you're going to have that blue collar at the bottom there, which is going to break up the look of that. So, yeah, there you go. Now, in addition, he does come with his big yellow club. Also, it looks almost just like the one from the vintage line. It's not as hard as the vintage one. It is a bit more gummy, but still solid, still feels fine. It looks pretty good. So with that out of the way, it's comparison time. Let's go ahead and stand this new Mekaneck alongside the vintage version so you can see what they look like side by side. Again, very, very similar looking, but look at them with the neck extended. Yeah, look how dumb the vintage one looks next to this one. Sorry, I'm just going to keep harping on that. I'm happy with this version. So that's going to bring us to the Road Ripper. Oh, I'm sorry, the Ground Ripper. We had to have a name change due to trademark reasons, but he'll always be the Road Ripper in my heart. This thing looks identical to the vintage one. I mean, straight up, if you just found this, you might think that this is the vintage one. It looks fantastic. It's bright green. It has all the same stickers, just like the vintage one, or similar stickers, I should say. You know, you got a sticker on here with the control panel. You got a sticker back here for the engine and all these little dials and gadgets and everything there. It looks very, very similar. Here's the difference. It is so incredibly lightweight. Like, this thing feels hollow and light, and I wish it had more weight to it. It does have just gray plastic wheels. They do roll very well. So look at, I mean, like, this thing rolls really good. You can push it along. It really rolls very smooth. They even handled the seatbelt just like the vintage one, where it's just the strap with the little holes there that you can clip onto the peg, and your figures fit on there very nicely. All of them sit on there. I did always love that there's like nothing to hold on to, so the figures look kind of funny, like they're just sitting there not able to control this thing. But yeah, it's very, very similar to the vintage. Here is where things really differentiate though. The vintage one had a ripcord feature where you would put the ripcord in, pull it out, and it would spin the wheels, and then this thing would take off, and it was awesome. It worked so, so well. And that is actually what added the weight to the vintage one. So there was also an extra wheel down here for the ripcord feature, and this is completely lacking that mechanism. This is one of those things where it feels like they could have included that, because it wouldn't have changed the look of this at all, and it would have just added some extra play value to it. It probably would have made it feel a little more hefty. I don't know if there are too many additional costs to add that particular mechanism in here, but I'm a bit bummed that this doesn't have it. I think that this could have included that, and it would have been just fine. As it is, it looks just like the vintage one with no real updates to it, except it's lacking that feature. So it almost feels like a bit of a step backwards. The one thing they did include is a pretty cool little interchangeable piece. So this is an extra head. You can actually now pop the standard griffin looking head or falcon head or whatever that is off of the top here, and then you can pop this alternate head on here as well. This is really cool because this is based on early concept artwork for the original Road Ripper. This is an original design that was changed ultimately to this on the vintage one. So I like this quite a bit because it does allow you to essentially display a concept Road Ripper. This is the kind of thing I do love and appreciate about this line. So this is a fun inclusion. Now there's no paint deco or stickers or anything on that. It's just solid green. But it is a way to look different from the vintage one and add a little bit of that concept flair to your collection. So there you go, my friends. That is a look at the brand new Mekaneck and Ground Ripper 2-pack. All in all, I do think this is a really fun set. The box is incredible. One thing I will say is that I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed that Mekaneck didn't get a single carded release, especially if you're a mint on card collector. I don't know if there's a chance that Mekaneck will get released on his own. And this is another one of those instances where I could see people wanting to have multiple Road Rippers so that you can display them different ways or have multiple figures riding them. And when you buy them, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of extra Mekanecks. So it's one of those things where I'm always like, I'm not sure that including a figure with a vehicle is always the right thing unless it's like an army builder, but nonetheless, it is still a nice 2-pack for what it is, especially if you're only planning on buying the one and opening it up. While I do feel like the Ground Ripper itself is a little bit lacking, it's still a fun set. It looks really nice, it's aesthetically pleasing, it looks like it was ripped straight out of the vintage line, and it's nice to add Mekaneck to the ranks. So this particular set is shipping right now. I believe it is showing up at Target stores, but I ordered mine from BigBadToyStore.com. So happy hunting, my friends, and until next time.